Okay, Shalom. First and foremost, before I begin with this lesson, I want to start by giving all praises, honor, and glory to our power Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakakwadash. Yahweh is the name of the Heavenly Father, who the world ignorantly calls God. Yahweh Shai is the name of his only begotten Son, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus. Double honors to the apostles, the elders, Egre Millstone, who do rule well and teach well. Shalom to the hopefully elect and you Achaemen, you brothers, pushing this word throughout the four corners of the earth with all truth and sincerity, making your calling and election sure, man. Shalom. United Nations. Strait of Hormuz disruption could trigger global food price crisis within a year. All right. And if I'm not mistaken, they had said that in July 4th, that if I'm not mistaken, I think it's July 4th, that we were going to run out of fuel in these different, in our, on our reserves. And of course, if that happens, just imagine what's going to happen to the price of food, the price, of, feed for our livestock, fertilizer for, the plants and whatnot, fruits, veggies, right? You know what's going to happen to that? Not only is it going to be scarce, it's going to be expensive. Not necessarily expensive for us yet, but first it's going to be expensive to who? The farmers. And if that's what happens when you live under capitalistic, society. If it gets expensive for them, what does that mean for us? There's going to be a premium on our groceries. And how is the food going to get there? How is the food going to get to these different stores and whatnot? Via the gas. Gas rates are only going to go higher. And if that really does come to pass, which, Lord willing, I don't want what that does come to pass, so that what? So that, man, this place can really start crumbling, which we're going to get into it. Hey, us brothers, we're not going to be affected by it, man. The scriptures say, make not haste in the time of trouble, right? We understand that this needs to happen. We understand that the Lord has to break this place down, right? The city of confusion is broken down. That's what's going to happen. And let me get that real quick. I was just searching this up, but before I get that, all right, city of confusion. It's in the book of Isaiah as well. Yep. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 24, and verse, really I can start up. Verse, man. All right, you know what? I'm just going to get straight to the point. The city of confusion is broken down. Every house is shut up, that no man may come in. Okay. And why is it going to be broken down, man? Really, there's a saying in America that these truck drivers are the backbone of America. And if our, spine, our backbone is broken, you're what? You're paralyzed, man. You can't do shit. There's going to be no work. People are going to be walking around instead of driving around, right? Electric vehicles, that's probably the only thing you're going to be able to see out here. And isn't it just a coincidence that Elon Musk had came out with a self-driving semi-truck, right? The Teslas, they're self-driving. Hey, man, they're getting really ready to implement this new world order that's going to be a technocracy, right? You're going to have universal basic income. You may not even need to work. And hey, you're not gonna be driving around places. Okay, man. It's the spirit that Esau Edom, right? DJ Trump, which I actually had that precept up in the book of Isaiah as well. DJ Trump, what did he do? He grabbed all these different tech CEOs, right there, these heads of the tech world, and took them all the way to China, so that they can go ahead and learn how they are running with this this super surveillance society, man. Really the image of the beast, right? This real digital society, everything being ran digital. Man, they can scan everybody's face and check if this person has committed a crime, this person hasn't committed a crime, so on and so forth. Man, it's just super high end, super high tech. And this, man, it's a spirit that this is all happening right now, because really it's ripe for Jacob's trouble, because Esau Edom, he runs off of a saying known as ordo ab chaos, which translate, if I'm not mistaken, it's Latin, which translates to order out of chaos. So they know that they're purposely giving you guys a squeeze here in America, which we're in it, of course, but we're going to be good nonetheless. We know that these elites, they're purposely putting a squeeze upon you people, right? Rent's getting higher, gas is getting more expensive, and soon, very soon in the near future, your groceries are going to skyrocket. So a lot of Americans, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was 70-something% of Americans are currently living paycheck to paycheck. Now imagine how much more coming into these next couple months, man. Soon you're not gonna even be able to live paycheck to paycheck. It's gonna be more debt and debt and debt and debt, until the point where you guys go onto the highways in these different places and start protesting. Okay, but nonetheless, this lesson, we're going to go into this, and we're also going to go into how it's prophesied. This is in the book of 2nd Ezra, the 16th chapter. And there's a lot of accounts that actually go into this, because not only are the food prices going to increase, there's a reason why it's going to increase in famine. It's really famine. And there's plenty of precepts and plenty of accounts in the scriptures of when our people, were put in a position of times of famine. And they were able to see really how evil and wicked it can get when people can't eat, when people can't drink, when people can't, when people can't just live. All right. So let's go down and read the first paragraph right here. The United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization warned that the ongoing disruption in the Strait of Hormuz could trigger a global food price crisis within 6 to 12 months. You see, in these next coming months, man. In a report released on Wednesday, May 20, the agency described the situation as beginning of a systematic agri-food shock, requiring immediate action by governments and farmers to stabilize fertilizer supplies, shipping routes, and agricultural production. The warning comes amid a U.S. small hat military conflict with Iran that has effectively closed the Strait of Hormuz, a 21-mile-wide choke point through which about 20% of the world's oil and a significant share of liquefied natural gas normally flow, according to shipping data cited by multiple reports. Tanker traffic through the waterway has become irregular, and insurance for vessels attempting passage is virtually unattainable. All right. So this is a systematic agro-food shock, man. All right? And that's the spirit, because I actually have this. Is the Strait of Hormuz impacting feed and fertilizer, right? Really everything that runs. Feed and fertilizer, it's what gives us life right now, sort of say. Because we're not out there getting our own cattle and livestock, even though, yes, you may have some people that do have, and we know that you have people out here that have their own livestock, cattle, and they're growing their own plants and whatnot. But for the most part, us Babylonians, us Americans, right? What are we doing, man? We're living in the cities. Okay, we're living in, rural areas, rural metro areas. And with that being said, Esau Edom, he wants to what? He wants to make these 15-minute cities. And really, when you go into it, it's going to be 10 main FEMA zones, according to the scriptures. That really is where you're going to be able to live, quote unquote, a so-called normal life in the new image of the beast. That's going to be determined allowance into the image of the beast via mark of the beast, man, via a RFID micro C-hip. All right, so this is a strategic, right? A strategic, what did it say? Agri-food shock, man. So really, when you read the book of Psalms, I'm going to get Isaiah 19, and then I'm going to get Psalms 13, so like it, Psalm 17 and 13, and then I'll get Isaiah 19. Bear with me. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 17 and verse 13. Arise, O Yahweh, disappoint him, cast him down, deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword. Okay, so the Most High is putting the spirit on Esau, Edom, and really this cruel Lord, right, DJ Trump, to make these dumb decisions. Because again, remember when you read the book of Job, the 5th chapter, he is carried. Oh man, let's get that before I get this. Bear with me. This is the book of Job, chapter 5 and verse 13. He taketh the wise in their own craftiness, and the counsel of the froward is carried headlong. So you see, the Most High is really putting the spirit on these Edomites to make these, decisions which they think in their mind is on point, and their plan is going, good, but really, man, they're making a dumb decision. This is how the Most High is going to get Esau, Edom in the checkpoint, sort of say, checkmate. To like, not checkpoint, checkmate. All right. And bear with me. And the Egyptians, this is Isaiah chapter 19 and verse 4. And the Egyptians will I give over into the hand of a cruel Lord, and a fierce king shall rule over them, saith the Lord, Yahweh of hosts, right? The Lord of armies. Because what? Esau, Edom doing all this is in his mind is going to bring in, which he knows is going to bring chaos. It's going to bring, it's going to bring you people out of your homes, because what? People, for the most part, are just settled on your leads. You're chilling. Even though things are expensive, you're getting taxed on on everything, literally everything. That's just the word that needs to be thrown out there. You're taxed on literally everything, on your paycheck. Once you're taxed on your paycheck, you're taxed on, your apartment bill at the end of the month, or your mortgage, your home. Then you're taxed on your food. Then you're taxed on your gas. You're taxed on everything, man. Literally, man, you go and get service done on your vehicle, you're taxed. Everything. You're taxed on everything, okay? So, not only are you already getting, taxed on everything, and,